Good evening, guys. Welcome. Welcome to all that are here. Hope you guys can hear me okay. Trying to get video right, trying to get all the technical stuff right. If you guys have got questions, please just type those below. And if you would, please keep yourself muted. Many times we get things in the background. We get a lot of feedback, etc., as we're doing this. Um, I'd just like to begin by welcoming everyone. And I've gotten several questions, and I'm going to go through and I will answer your questions as they come in. And I'm going to get to as many questions as I've been asked up front as I can. Um, but the main purpose of this, I want to talk about leads, and I want to talk about free lead sources, and I want to talk about how to best get you guys started fast. If you're a business owner, it's the lead sources that have worked best for me. In that journey going from 3 million to 52 million, what we did and what worked for everyone. Of course, there's more in-depth conversations, etc. I got some questions about commercial leads. And I'd love to talk about that. That's going to be a different session. The reason for that is 90% of what's out there is a shingle roof. And while I do have some people in my mentorship class, some people I interact with that are strictly commercial, most people are retail and the residential. So we're going to talk about those sources. And even if you're in a small rural market, these things will work, even in a small market, no matter where you're at. And I'll answer some of the other questions about door knocking and some of the other things that you can do. How effective are they? Got a question. Can I explain the anchor deal with the insurance companies? That's going to be another time that we'll talk about that. This is primarily just leads and what we do. So there are three basic sources that I want to talk about, and I'll talk about a bonus or two here and there. But these are basic things. And the number one thing you need to do is set up a web page. And if it's not you doing the work, farm it out. And the reason why is we're just perceived to not be real if we don't have one. And the web page, I don't know how much traffic that's going to gain you as a lead source. And I'm gonna expound on that, what is needed and what will get you leads. But people are going to go there once they're with you to find out if you're real. So that's as much as anything a reason why you need it. So the web page will pick up some organic traffic, get a good one, get a strong one, and most importantly, just get anything up there to get started. You can build on it, you can renew it, you can rip off your competition or somebody you see online that you like. I'm big on that. Bill Gates created nothing. That's why your main drive is a C drive and not an A drive. He changed some things. The second thing you need that goes hand in hand with your web page is you need landing pages. And the best example of this is, as the highest rated roofer in the state of Florida, voted best roofer in Orlando, if I go right down the street, it's 10 minutes. It's less than 7 miles from my house. I am in a little town called St. Cloud. And everyone that is on this call right now, you've got little towns all around you. And if anyone in that little town types in roofer, best roofer, cheapest roofer, whatever it is, any keywords, I'm not going to pop up. And the reason why is my office is not located there. I'm not in that area. A roofer from that area, St. Cloud, is the example I used. A roofer that has an office there that lives there is going to pop up. By having landing pages, I have my web guy create, and we've got over 200 landing pages. If you're in St. Cloud and you type in roofer, I'm now going to populate. And it's because I've got a landing page there. You got to look into that, what that takes in Google. If you've got a webmaster, if you've got someone that is doing your web page, they'll know about it, etc. If you've got further questions about it, ask me. I'm happy to give you some direction. So the other thing we can do with our online presence, along with our web page, our landing page, we got PPC, which is pay per click. And I'm not going to go into that tonight. There's a way to do it. It's frustrating to me when I have guys say, listen, I spent $3,000 last month and I got nothing from it. There's several things wrong with that. We're going to get into that more when I talk about marketing and some other things and how you can do that. Tonight is more about low cost and what we can do that's no cost. The third thing we can do, if you guys got questions, just type them in and I'll get to them. The third thing we can do, mapping. Mapping is the other way that Google finds us, gets us in the algorithm. And what's important here is simply going on your page, going to Google, getting Google certified, etc. And what I want you to do is every time you're on a job, whether it's you or someone you work that works with you, pop in there with a picture. It doesn't have to be video. It can be a photo. It can be several photos. Google is going to map you in that location, and it's going to show that you're working there, even if your office is not located there. It's a great hack for all of us so we can appear in the next county, in the next town, wherever we're working. And Google will pick up that algorithm. Google is smart from the sense that you can't be sitting at home and pull up your pictures from 10 different locations and type in addresses. Google's going to know you're sitting at your house. That's not going to work. You've got to do it while you're there. I suggest, even if you're just doing an evaluation or an inspection of a roof, pop in there. Hey, and it could be super short. We're helping another family or we're inspecting another roof. Anything that gets you on the map, gets you FaceTime, those are hacks that we have used over and over to actually make our company larger than life. People come back and go, oh my gosh, you guys are everywhere. Well, it's from using what's available to us. Let's see what questions we have. So is SEO different than geofencing? Yeah. So geofencing, it gets in the weeds a little bit. Not going to talk about that a whole lot. Geofencing, man, that's some techie stuff. It's beyond me. I understand it from sitting with my guys that they can get so in depth that when we geofence a particular area, those guys are so good that what they do is go into, let's say, a neighborhood or an area, And it not only pops up with an ad or something, whether it's Facebook ad, Google ad on someone's computer, anyone that is in that house that has a device, even if they close up that device and take it with them, say on a business trip and they fly out of state, if they've looked up anything roofing and we have popped up, when that guy goes out of state to his business trip and he opens up his laptop, whatever he's looking at, we're going to pop up again. We have geo hacked, or geofencing as it's called, on that computer. That's some in-depth stuff, and that comes at a cost, not what we're talking about in depth today. Yeah. So taking a picture and posting it to a Google business page or to your social channels when you're on the job site, absolutely. Absolutely, that's going to help you. That's going to work. As we're talking about online presence, it's basically website, landing page, mapping. And I'm going to put that all in one. Okay. That's kind of an online presence I'm going to tie it to the web page. The second thing you can do is social media. And social media is free to all of us. I'm not talking about paid ads. That's a different subject for a different time. But I suggest everyone, whether it's sales guys or business owners, listen to this, hear me here. You want to do a personal page. Not that you shouldn't have a business page, but the business page, people are going to search for when they already know us, when they're doing business with us, or they're thinking about doing business with us. That's when they may look us up. Other than that, just to find us, it's our family and friends, our realm of influence for all of our sales guys. And what makes me excited about this is every guy in my office, every girl in my office, their influence, their family, friends are different than mine. And we all run in different circles. We're different ages and we've got different interests. Hey, can you guys mute your microphones? I'm getting some background. So, it might be my church. It might be the guys I golf with. It might be the guys I have particular interest or couples that we do stuff with. Different than one of my sales guys that's got a teenager that's in cheer or in basketball or into football, or it's the booster club, or it's their friends and family, whoever they're around. That's where we're getting business from. And that stuff is free. And it's an easy sell because it's a referral. It's just like a referral. It's people you know. And people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Let's talk about reading some of the questions here. Absolutely, pictures, video, all that stuff's great to post anywhere. Yes, post to your Google business page if you've got one, 100%. Talk about, back up here and talk about social media as it pertains to your business. Should you have one for your business? Yeah, you can have one for your business. I think it's important. Have a Facebook page. There'll be people go in there, but that's more about them commenting and giving you 5-star reviews. 5-star reviews are huge. If you're brand new, starting out, get those 5-star reviews as fast as you can. You can even incentivize your people. I love video. So what we'll do in our office is get the company mentioned, and it's typically sales guys, but anybody in the office. If you're mentioned and the company's mentioned, $10. If you get a video, they mention the company, mention you, it's $25. And those are testimonials. Those go a long ways, and people like it, they watch it. And then I'm going to give you a pro tip right here. This is a little bit outside of leads, but I think it's so important to your company. Let me give you a pro tip. So, the way we got over 1,300 five-star reviews organically, we didn't purchase a single one. And really, to me, it's amazing the number is so low compared to how hard we try and how many roofs we put on. But here's what we did. We would go through the process of re-roofing or repairing, and we know that the homeowner is most happy as soon as the job is finished. And we would ask, are you happy? And if I've got somebody that says, no, I'm not completely happy, I don't want the review because I only want a 5-star review. Are you happy? Yes, absolutely, we're happy. If they're not happy, what's it take to make you happy, etc. But when I've got a happy customer on a re-roof, I say, you know what? I got something else for you. A wind mitigation. I don't know if you know what that is. I'm talking to the homeowner. I don't know if you know what that is, but that is someone independently that's going to come and inspect your roof. It can't be you because you're the homeowner. It can't be me because I'm the roofer. But nationally, national average, on average, you can save approximately 23% on your homeowner's insurance if you have a wind mitigation. Typically, your insurance carrier will not tell you about this. Now I've got their attention. And I tell them, here's what I will do. That wind mitt cost a couple $100 to have that done. What I will do is, if you will write me 3 5-star reviews, Better Business Bureau, Facebook, and Google, I will pay for that wind mitigation. And I'm able to get a deal because I call the same guys, the same group of guys all the time that do all my wind mitts. They'll do them for me for $100. It cost me $100 to get 3 5-star reviews. And right there in front of them, I'll call the office and order a wind mitigation. And now the requirement in order for me to do that is homeowner has to meet 2 criteria. They have to write me 3 5-star reviews, and they have to be paid in full. And it encourages them to do both. It's just a way for you guys to get 5-star reviews. It's going to help you get to where you're going. Let me talk about another source I really like. Talk about this is source number 2. We got web pages, landing pages, mapping. That's all one. Social media, I'll tie in there. I've got a thing called 10 and 10. And 10 and 10 is where we go to a neighborhood that we are currently roofing or getting ready to roof. We'll go 10 doors to the right, 10 doors to the left. You can even do 20 across the street, knock on 40 doors, guarantee you'll get a deal. And what's important is what we say. So I'm not knocking on the door as if I am a door knocker that wants to inspect your roof, etc. There's damage in the area. Understand that the neighborhood I'm in, either one or 2 things has probably happened.
Oh, good thing.
Could you mute your phone, please, Todd? One or 2 things has probably happened. Either there's been an event, a wind event, a hail event, um, some kind of hurricane, something, or the neighborhood's just aging out. So when I knock on that door, what I'm saying is, hey, I'm Brad. Not sure if you're aware of it or not, but right down the street here, and believe me, someone will ask you which house, what address, know where the house is, know what the address is, know who lives there. And this family down here is getting a re-roof. There's going to be lots of traffic, and it's a little bit messy because it's construction. If you have any questions, if anything blows in your yard at all, as I'm handing them my business card, just call me directly. I'm happy to take care of it. Most people are not home. A lot of people will say, okay, thank you, and close the door. And occasionally you're going to get a buying question. They're going to say, well, what's that look like? Or is that insurance related? Or can you look at my roof? Those are all buying questions, and it will happen if you knock on enough doors. Brand new sales guys, you have someone in your office selling that is so busy, that's selling so much stuff, they do not knock their doors. They're too busy. They can't get to them. Either you could, low cost here, you could pay someone to do it. You could come up with some kind of door hanger. We all probably have those. If they're not home, it's things you could do. Or you could even go to a neighborhood where someone else is re-roofing. If you don't have somewhere to go, you don't have somewhere in your company, go there. Don't know if you're aware of it. There's a roof going on down the street, etc. It's a great way to get started, and it's non-evasive. I'm going to go into the third source. The third source, much like the second source, is non-evasive, and it's one of my favorite. I have done it for most of my career. It's very successful, and that is phone calls. Um, we know from college, the number one time to watch TV is on Sunday night. The number two time to watch TV is on Monday night. So on those evenings, from 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m., I make phone calls. If I've met you during the week in the past week, or I just pull out my phone list, anyone that's local. Obviously, I'm not calling people out of state or in an area I don't work in. But I'll call someone up, even if I met him a couple days ago at dinner and we exchanged business cards. Maybe it was a business luncheon, maybe it was a mixer, maybe it was a leads group, maybe it was whatever it was. I call them up and say, hey, Rick, this is Brad. We met Friday night out in Nona Blue. Don't know if you remember. And, yeah, of course I remember meeting you. I don't know if you know what I do, even if I told him what I do. I don't know if you know what I do or you remember what I do, but I'm a roofer. We do both residential and commercial. And if you know of anyone looking, I appreciate if you just keep me in mind. And it's a very short conversation. And most of the time it's okay, thank you. And they hang up. Occasionally I get a buying question. And then the third thing that happens is occasionally we hang up, and within the next week or so, they call me
You don't
back.
do any of this. You're such a fucking liar. Is do any of this. Such bullshit.
Hey, Deck, could you mute your microphone, please? So within the next week or so, they call me back and they've got an issue. They've got an issue, whether it's, their mom's roof, their dad's roof, their roof, something to look at. Um, that's my favorite source. Talk about some of these questions you guys have got. Um, you know, talk about, I get a question about generating leads through leads groups or different groups, whether it's BNI, It could be Chamber of Commerce. Um, it could be the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm laughing a little bit, but I got a good friend. He's a dear, dear friend of mine, just a great guy. And man, probably 90% of his business or more comes from these groups. And he literally works them. And when I say he works them, he goes to them. He doesn't miss. It's everything from a leads generation group to BNI, a networking group. Um, and when I'm laughing, he was even president of the Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and he doesn't speak any Spanish, but he's a super likable guy, and he just makes his presence known, and he really genuinely helps people. And I think it comes through when you're genuine, when you're doing something. And in that, right along with that, with leads groups and associations, etc., I encourage everyone to find something you're passionate about in giving back. And you don't need to create your own 501c3. Just plug into the organizations that are all around you, and they are all around you no matter where you're at. It's a staggering number here in Orlando. Within a 1 mile radius of downtown Orlando, there are over 10,000 not-for-profit organizations. And I jokingly say, I think every attorney downtown must have their own not-for-profit. But we plug into everything from orphanages, needy children, could be a women's shelter, etc. And what you will find, and I want you to do it from the heart. Anybody that knows me knows I'll tell you, do it from the heart or don't do it at all. But find something you're passionate about. And here's what you will find in those groups. You will find people volunteering their time and they've got extra time to give, you are going to find some high value people in those groups. We're talking about people that have a good heart, they've got a lot of money, and they've got time to give back. And a lot of those people you will find are giving money as well as time, and you develop relationships over time. Serving as a president of a local group called Feed and Fortify, where we fed the homeless. It was 1 day a month. So we only got together 12 times a year, but I developed relationships in those groups. And no, I wasn't handing out business cards the first month we met. It was just getting to know people. And eventually, I don't know, month 3, month 4, something, the guy asked me, he goes, wait a minute, aren't you a roofer? Yes, I am. Well, I've got, you know where that conversation's going. He's got some issue, he's got something. Can I come and look at it? And as he talks to family and friends and people in the group, etc., word kind of spreads. Understand that's not why I joined that group. We joined that group to give back. But those are the things that happen. And what I want to do also is encourage you do not be the person that we see come to the leads group, come to the volunteer association, and they don't really care. They don't have a heart for it. We never see them more than once. They're just there. They pass out all their business cards and say, hey, if you need anything, call me. Well, we're just looking at those people like, what are you talking about? Who are you? Where are you from? And we never see them again and we never call them because we don't have a relationship with them. That's really the key, is developing that relationship. The other thing, I'll give you a bonus here. So I'm big on referrals, and this is about developing relationships. And I spend a little bit of money here. Is the most important thing is being consistent, but it's developing a referral system. And maybe it doesn't have to cost money, but I think it's most effective. And the money I spend for the value I get is very, very, very small. But I've got a relationship with realtors, and I find it's surprising, it's shocking how few people have a relationship. No, I don't want to say relationship. That's not true. They don't have a referral program that deals with realtors or insurance agents. What most people have is they know an insurance agent or a couple realtors, and those couple realtors send them some deals, or that one insurance agent sends them several deals. But they don't really have a referral network. And if you'll develop that, I want to give you a caution here. Do not overlook the girls in the office. Occasionally, when I'm in there, I will see people come in. They only want to talk to the broker owner, or they only want to talk to the owner of the insurance agency. They don't want to talk to anybody else. And sometimes those offices are big enough that the girls in the office are really deciding who gets the referrals. So when I say it costs a little money, what we do is we do some kind of gift. And I let my girls in the office come up with it. It may be a ball mason jar with a piece of twine around it and a hole punch of a business card, and it's full of candy or something like that. And, we'll deliver 10 to this one office because that's how many girls are in there. And then when we've got referral partners who are sending us business, I've always got something special for the owner. It may be a bottle of wine, it may be a gift card, something. It's not terribly large, it's not a great deal of money, other than who my referral partner of the month is. I let them know, I make a big deal about it. Your referral partner of the month, and they get something special, and those pay off for us. So that's a $250 gift card to Ruth Chris or something along those lines. And at the end of the year, we gave away three, no, we gave away two Mont Blanc pens. Those were about 1,200 bucks a piece, each pen. And then we had two guys that belonged to an HOA that just referred us over $200,000 worth of business. And those two guys, we ordered steaks for them, Omaha steaks, spent a little bit of money. But those are just some ideas. And those people just keep referring us business, great partnerships. Develop some of those. Yeah, as we look at some of these questions here, um, yeah, talking about getting in with insurance that referred to business in, assuming you're talking about Mad Ski, who else exactly are you talking about? No, there's several people I know that are in with insurance agents. Agents are just helping their clients locally, and there's certainly nothing wrong with developing those relationships. Certainly encourage it. That's different than when we talk about an anchor deal with an insurance carrier. Totally different subject. Um, How much time do we give a lead source before pulling a plug? Oh, that's more, we're getting into numbers there and talking about more of a marketing ploy. I'll go into that more in depth later. And if you're a new rep, what do you focus on? So new reps, focus on the 10 and 10 and focus on the referral groups. That's where you can start. I mean, all that you want It's out there. There's no end to it. Focus on those things. When I got started, even when I start in a new market, meaning coming to Florida, at one point it was a new market for me, and I wanted to know if these things worked in my market. And I sit down, set the goals. Here's how much money I want to make. Here's what I want to do professionally, and just laid out a little plan. Here's what I'm going to do on referrals. Here's what I'm going to do on phone calls. And then I'm going to do the 10 and 10 around everything there. And I just hustled. I really did. I hustled $8,684 in my first week of as a sales guy doing that here in Florida. Um, if you're in a small market, I just want to really encourage you, even if you're in a rural area, as we were growing our business, I had a friend, a guy I became friends with through a Christian men's organization. And every time I ran into him being a roofer also, he said, "Man, I want to be in the Orlando market, but it's just too expensive." And he was from a little town outside of Orlando, just one of these little towns that was 45 minutes away. And I just encouraged him. I got with him and helped him with some of these techniques. Here's what we're doing, here's what's working. And it's all the things I'm sharing with you guys right now. And he just literally took over that little town. He owns that little town. And to the tune of, he was at 2 million. That was probably that was probably 4 or 5 years ago. And this past year he did $20 million. Happy as he can be, not sure what to do with all the money. Can't outgive God, just a lot of prayer and faith, and did the work. And he took home a little over $4 million this past year. And understand, that wasn't the first year that he had made a significant amount of money. It built him a new office, it bought him the land. He did an outbuilding, turned it into his office and his warehouse, and then they just finished construction on their new home. But that's all from the roofing business and just really being faithful and plugging in to where he's at. Um, any recommendations for paid advertising, not online, billboards, newsletters, newspapers, etc.? Can that be effective? So, again, we go more into marketing, and this is where you can spend a little bit of money, and I'll just touch on it briefly. Um, Pay per click right now is just, it's getting more and more expensive. And the reason for that is the roofing industry, or the national numbers are, we are down 34% as an industry year over year. And I'm a big proponent that roofers are guys that happen to be in business. I need everyone on this call. I need you guys to be business guys that are in roofing. And the roofer isn't sure what else to do. And he just throws more money at pay per click, and it's pushing the cost of a word up. And I don't want to get into it. There's some numbers that you need to measure to see if you're effective. You've got to do that. That's a whole conversation for another time. But certainly where you could spend some of that money, not going to talk about billboards or newsletters, but I'm all for small market. And this kind of goes back to what I was talking about when I said Facebook, um, social media, everyone doing their own, having their own influence. And this is really kind of a grassroots small town thing that you can do because it's very, very localized. So wherever you are, or if you're a business owner, wherever your people are, again, if it's cheerleading, if it's the booster club, if it's football, if it's your church, Is there something you can sponsor there? Can you buy a banner for the year for the football team? Can you be in the program and sponsor the booster club? Those are typically low cost, and the return is good if whoever is doing the advertising is involved in the community. It's not nearly as effective if we just shotgun as a roofing company and make the decision we're just going to support every high school that's local to us, that's within a 5 mile radius or 10 mile radius or in this county. That's not as effective. I'm talking about places where you know the people and you interact with the people, or the people in your office know and interact with. And as a company, that may be worth you working something out with your people. If it is for us personally, if it's a network thing and you want to join a BNI group or chamber or something, you pay for it, I'll reimburse you. Help me with video, Mick. So you pay for it, I'll reimburse you. If it is a local thing, a sponsorship thing, I'll go in 50-50 with you. You want to do a banner, you want to do, and you may set a limit within your company. Hey, if it's more than $500, check with me first. The other thing we do as a source is we have a tent, we have a table, we have a wrap for that table, and then we have giveaways. So whether it's glasses or mugs or sunglasses or koozies or whatever we're doing at the time, um, I will give all those giveaways to my guys that are doing an event. And the way that works is we're talking about a 1 day event. It's going to be a farmer's market on Saturday, or it's going to be primarily an insurance guy that's setting up in a retirement community on a Saturday, or it's a fair for families on a weekend. You pay for the space, and I'll give you all the stuff. The requirement is that tent and that table and the tablecloth and everything you didn't use has to be back on Monday, or I'm not loaning it to you again, just so they don't have it out there forever. But it will help your presence and help your people. And these are just some other things that they can do. Yeah. So if you guys have other questions, put them in the comments. And I would also like to know what else you guys would like to have more information on. I'm thinking about cash flow, or what else do you want, Megan? Yeah, a master class on cash flow or whatever else you guys want to hear about. Let me know. Type in the comments. We're happy to do that. This master class is only once a month. They can get on here. Um, and you guys, I appreciate your questions. The best of luck to everybody. Keep it budget friendly. And the other thing that I'm going to offer is I got a Facebook. It's totally free. Um, there's no cost. There's nothing needed there. But within the Facebook group, I can answer more questions and interact. And if you guys have got other ideas, there's something I'm missing or you want more information on, put it in there. It's a great place to get some of your questions answered. I'll put the link in here for the Facebook group. I get asked, is door to door a viable option? Yeah, door to doors, it's a viable option. I assume we're talking about insurance going door to door. Hey, you got damage. It absolutely works. I just think there's a smarter way to do it. And I go in depth on that and that gets to the anchor deals, et cetera, that we talk about. I just think it's a whole lot easier to make one or two phone calls and build a relationship.
You didn't do a repair, right?
Hey, John, could you mute your phone? Thank you. So I just think it's much more effective, and it's certainly $1 million deal rather than running around knocking on doors. I do still offer mentorship. The price has gone up. You guys get a promo code or a discount code for that when this is over, if that's of interest to you. That's not the purpose of this. Number one, let's build a better roof. And number two, let's just be the best we can be. And I help you guys get started. I am stuck right here in Central Florida. That's where I'm at. It's where I want to be. And I've got so many guys I mentor that are in other states, even out of the country. And there is so much room. I had someone call me today that's right in my backyard. They overlap with me. And the guy asked me, "Will you help me?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely, I'll help you." I mean, we do this many roofs. There's a ton of roofs out there. There's room for everybody. Just want to encourage you guys and help you guys get started. We got one last question here. Since I touched on door knocking, would you say it's better to get sales reps or hire canvassers to pay sales guys less for those deals? It's all in the structure. So both work, all the above. There's different business models. We could pay people to do door hangers. We can pay people to knock on doors. We can have sales guys go do it, whatever. There can be one lead guy that knows what he's doing and have a bunch of high school kids after they get out of school go knock on the doors. There's all kinds of models out there that work. I've never chased storm or been a door knocker myself as far as chasing insurance deals. But I certainly have consulted some of the largest in the country. They call me for different things, whether it's cash flow or learning how to go retail. And certainly, several of you have seen some of the people online I'm talking about without mentioning names. But yep, some of those guys are very effective at chasing a storm. Nothing wrong with it. It's just a different deal. So this session is going to be out there on my video page, and the feedback on Facebook. Okay. And you guys, you got questions, hit me up down below, and hope you guys have a great evening. See you guys later. Good night.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, I love it. That'll be emailed to you.
We're going to email that to you, that link. Thank you. Megan.